The sports page with the Orlando Sentinel and FM 96.9 The Game's Mike the Bulldog Bianchi.
On JRR.
Bulldog Sports Page brought to you by Kaufman and Lynn Injury Attorneys. Bulldog, barn burner of a Thursday night game.
Yeah, thought the Jags were playing last night with that score. 12-6. No touchdown scored last night. 12-6. The Rams, the red hot Rams, beat the fading 49ers last night. Joshua Carty kicks 4 field goals for the Rams. It was a slugfest. Who would have ever thought the Rams, they just beat the Bills last week 44-42. All right?
Yeah.
In a shootout. And now now they can't score a touchdown against the 49ers. The Rams, though, they're 8-6 now. They're only a half game behind Seattle for the division lead. And of course, the 49ers are just banged up, injured. They're not going anywhere the rest of the season, I don't think.
And that was supposed to be a really good game, if you guys remember going into it, because of what you said, the Rams kicking ass previously. Man, what a downer.
No question. Other NFL games this week, the Bucks at the Chargers. The Bucks have been sort of loading up on cupcakes, so it's going to be interesting to see if they can hang with the Chargers, who have a really good defense. The Bucks defense is banged up. I actually like the Chargers to win that game. Miami's at Houston. Miami needs to win to stay in the wild card race. I don't know if they can, because again, Miami, when they play good teams, especially on the road, they don't usually fare very well. I mean, they also have been loading up on cupcakes this year. Do you like your Dolphins this week, Lynch?
I think they're going to get it done Sunday.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
I think they're going to get it done.
Of course, nobody cares about the Jets and the Jags, but they are playing up in Jacksonville.
Hey,
3-10 teams going head to head.
Real quick, Lynch, do you think that the Jags pregame meeting is, if you win, you're fired? They
won last week.
I know, that's why I'm saying, if you win this week, you're fired. You need to lose. We need to dump the season.
I could be having that conversation in both locker rooms, actually.
Yeah.
Bulldog.
The slate of NFL games is terrible this week, except for
the Bills
Buffalo
and the Meatheads. Yes,
man, that is going to be a game. Man, you got Josh Allen and that beast going up against that Lions offense. Talk about a shootout. I think this could be a shootout because Detroit can score, Buffalo can score. We'll see what happens. It's hard to pick against the Lions at home, isn't it?
I wouldn't. I would not.
Speaking of the Lions fan who to the flag holder at the Lions Packers game. Did you hear about this story?
With LaFleur or something?
Yeah, he got into a shouting match with the Packers players and the coach, Matt LaFleur. He was actually one of the guys holding the giant American flag. He was giving the throat slash signal to the Packers during the national anthem. Okay?
God, dude.
He got his season tickets for both. So
oh my God, man! Take our football seriously, don't we?
Yeah. Hey, Bill Belichick had the press conference yesterday. He won the press conference at the University of North Carolina. He was named the head coach. He was cracking jokes, talking.
Did you see the my
face?
This, did you see the my face joke that he did? Oh yeah, Pat. He goes, me, I'm not going to act like I'm a huge social media pro or anything. He goes, I can make my way around my face.
You know what would have been great is if he came out and did his typical no comment, or I'm just worried about Buffalo this weekend.
Just worried about recruiting.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Just worried about the transfer portal this week.
It's
going to the more I think about this, I'm starting to like this hire. I'm changing my mind on it. I went from this is a terrible hire to, hey, at least it makes him relevant. And now I'm thinking, hey, if Deion Sanders can go to a place and win, Bill Belichick should be able to. So We'll see what happens here. You still hate it, don't you, Lynch?
I don't hate it.
You're skeptical.
I'm skeptical. That's the word I used yesterday, and I'm sticking with it.
I think it's great because prior to this, I saw the interviews directly with him where he laid out what he said yesterday of, hey, I'm going to raise these kids to get a great education and a great football upbringing and be ready for the NFL if they are. I like it.
Yeah. Speaking of college football head coaches, Dan Mullen, former Gator coach, hired at UNLV yesterday. He has to settle for the UNLV job. I think he wanted the UCF job. Of course, Scott Frost got that. So Dan Mullen going down the ladder. The guy has had... I think the reason Dan Mullen didn't get a better job, he's a great X's and O's guy. He actually had a 34-15 record at Florida. Went to 3 New Year's 6 bowl games, fired in his 4th year. He just doesn't want to work hard at recruiting, doesn't like to do any of that stuff. So I think he had to settle for the UNLV job.
Hey,
interesting.
Did the Bulldog get his Heisman vote in on time, or is it submitted?
My Heisman vote is submitted. They will make the announcement tomorrow. I'm not allowed to tell you who I voted for. Although I will say, I meant Travis Hunter. He just cleaned up on the awards last night at the awards show.
Yeah.
He won the AP College Football Player of the Year. He won the, what else? He won the Walter Camp Award, the Chuck Bednarik Award, the Bolitnikoff Award. He won the award for Best Wide Receiver and the Chuck Bednarik Award for Top Defensive Player.
Oh.
What does that tell you?
Yeah, it tells you what's going to happen tomorrow night. Okay, gotcha. Moving right along.
Probably.
Yeah.
Hey, does this story surprise you guys? So the MLS Cup was last week, the championship game in MLS. The LA Galaxy, New York Red Bulls, 2 major media markets, obviously, the 2 premier teams in the league, drew only 468,000 viewers. That was down 50% from last year. All right? 50%. NWSL championship game, Orlando Pride versus the Washington Spirit, drew 967,000 viewers, doubled the MLS championship. Does that surprise you guys?
I don't think either of those leagues should be very proud of those numbers. And, I think the popularity of soccer in this country gets overblown by the media when you get down to brass tacks, and the ratings are the brass tacks, Bulldog. Come on, be honest.
Well, the fact that MLS went down 50% from last year, I think, is an indication that this Apple TV package is not working for MLS. I mean, out of sight, out of mind. People aren't watching during the regular season, so why are they going to watch the championship game? I think that's what this is more an indication of, and I think the NWSL rating was great for that league, quite frankly.
Championship game was on ABC, so I mean...
Yeah. So anyway, I was shocked when I saw those ratings that the NWSL doubled MLS Cup.
Hey,
plus women's sports in this country is surging right now. Let's face it.
Yeah.
All right.
Caitlin made the top 100 women, by the way. Speaking of women's sports,
Time Magazine sports icon of the year.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Hey, Bulldog, real quick, who do you got Army Navy tomorrow? We're going to talk more in depth with Mark Daniels later about this, but who you got?
Well, you've got to pick Army. I mean, they've had such a great season. I would have liked to have seen Army get into the playoff, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But, you got to pick Army in this one. Army by double digits.
Mike the Bulldog Bianchi, host of Open Mic on AM 740 and FM 96.9 The Game on Adjacent to Us weekday mornings. Takes time out of his show to join us here for the sports page each morning on JRR, brought to you by Kaufman and Lind.
Listen to Under Oath with attorney Jeff Kaufman every Saturday morning, 7:30 on FM 96.9 The Game. You can catch extended versions on your favorite streaming platform.
Miss the Lynch and Monaco show this morning?
Check out the daily podcast anytime on the iHeartRadio app.
Download it for free at WJRR.com.
From the boat.